Hello, my name is Abigail and welcome to Polyglot Progress. Learning a different writing system can seem really daunting, and I know a lot of people who have been put off languages because of it. I recently started learning Bulgarian, which uses the Cyrillic alphabet, and it was my first real experience learning a different writing system. While focusing on Bulgarian, the Cyrillic alphabet has become one of my strong points, and it just feels really good that I can read words in Bulgarian almost as fast as I can in my native language now. Even if I don't know what they mean, I can read them really quickly, and that's just really cool. I can also look at a word and just remember the sound in my head and write it out again, which is also really nice and helpful and makes note-taking so much faster. So here is a video on some tips on how to learn to read and write a different writing system based on how I learned to read and write the Cyrillic alphabet. The book that I used to learn to read and write the Cyrillic alphabet wasn't necessarily made for learning the alphabet, it's just colloquial Bulgarian. In the front, it just has the alphabet, that's what I used. So my first tip is don't do anything in phonetics. Just don't. Just throw yourself in. There are tons and tons of flashcards and even books that are printed so that it's basically like your native language. You're just reading the words for a foreign language. However, it'll make it so much harder to learn to read the alphabet later on. Also, pronunciation-wise, your native language doesn't necessarily link up with the alphabet of the other language, so your pronunciation will be so much better if you just learn the alphabet to begin with. So the first thing you should do is start by taking notes and just repeating the sounds. I don't have my notebook with me here actually, but basically just copy down whatever chart is in your book with the alphabet. In this case, it's the printed and handwriting, and then it says example and pronounced as in, but I only do the printed, handwritten, and then the pronounced as in, so that just kind of tells you how to pronounce it. So basically, you'll write down each letter, and as you write them down, just say them, like say the sounds, and it'll just help to get it into your head a bit. Those are just really your primary notes. They're there for reference, they're there for your initial go through of the alphabet, but you probably won't learn the writing system just in that one note-taking session. Something that I found really handy with Bulgarian was making a note card with that same chart on it. This basically just made it so that I didn't have to flip back in my notebook or in the colloquial Bulgarian book to see what the sounds made as I was reading vocab. So once again, you just have your printed, your handwritten, and then the pronounced is in. It's just a nice handy little chart, and as I said, you can just keep it. I keep it in the front of my book like a bookmark, and it's there. You can quickly reference letters that you don't totally remember, and it's just really handy. So then, like I said with vocabulary, you're just gonna go into the book. You're gonna start learning your vocabulary from chapter 1 of your book, or the beginning of whatever course it is you're taking, and you need to be ready to learn this vocabulary really, really slowly. If you're not going to use phonetics, it's going to take you a while to get used to reading the alphabet and learning the sounds that each letter makes. You'll start with the beginner vocab and you'll read using your little flashcard that will help you pronounce every letter of whatever word it is you're trying to read. And then, just like you do when you're learning to read your native language, you'll read each word sound by sound. So you'll basically just sound it out as you find letters that you know, or look up letters that you're not totally sure of, and you'll just go sound by sound until you get to the end, and then you can read the whole thing as one, or read half, and then put the two halves together, whatever works best for you. But just slowly get through each word, and then work on getting faster and faster with them. See how quickly you can start to read words, but give it time. Next, when you're making vocab flashcards, one thing that I found really helpful when I was first learning was put on one side your word that you're learning, the vocabulary word, in the writing system of the language, and then on the back put a little note of how it would sound in phonetics in your language, and put the definition, so that way as you do the flashcards you can test both your reading skills and your vocabulary skills. And then my last tip is to just make sure you do a little bit every day with the language, or at least with the alphabet. Do something that will help you remember what they sound like, how to read it, and just keep going. Don't give up on it, because it's actually really not that hard, I found. Just stick with it. If you let the language go for periods of time, you're going to forget the alphabet. If you have any other tips, feel free to leave them down below. And remember, practice makes progress. Bye guys.